Hey guys, all right, video 3 on MyFitnessPal. So this one is going to be about how to plan your day using macros on MyFitnessPal. This is literally how I live my life. Every single day I log on to MyFitnessPal and I plan my meals for tomorrow. So I only ever plan one day in advance because I know what's in my fridge. I know what's gone bad. I sort of know what I feel like eating. I sort of know what my schedule is going to look like. So if I'm going to be on the go or something like that, I kind of have ideas of what's going on one day in advance. I find it much more helpful than planning as I go, because planning as you go sometimes can be overwhelming. If you don't know what you're going to eat, sometimes you can end up making bad choices, or you can stand with the fridge doors open, staring into it and being like, I'm so hungry, but I don't know what to put in my body. So if you already have it planned and written down, it's much easier to stay on track. I don't like planning 7 days in advance because I don't know, A, what I'm going to feel like eating, B, what my husband's eaten, C, exactly what my schedule looks like. So I like I said, the 1 day in advance. I usually log on after my kids are in bed in the evening. I will log on and plan the meals for tomorrow, is how I tend to do it, because then it's evening time. I know if we have leftovers from dinner, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways, or 2 different scenarios, I guess, in planning your day. I'm going to start one with a breakfast that has more fats in it and one with a breakfast that has more carbs in it, and show you that both can end up balancing out as the day goes on. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So again, let me share my screen with you so you can see my MyFitnessPal. And again, this is on the app version of MyFitnessPal. I don't love the computer version of MyFitnessPal. I don't find it nearly as helpful. So we are going to start by adding a food. We're going to start this one by doing a day that includes overnight oats. I know a lot of you guys are scared of overnight oats because of the carbs in them, but I'm going to show you that they're not scary. So we're going to start with the oatmeal raisin overnight oats. My overnight oats are about 1/3 of a cup of almond milk, 1 full scoop of my NitroTech Deliciousness. They actually would have vanilla, not the brownie cheesecake if they were these ones, but 1/2 a cup of oats and 1 tablespoon of raisins would be this exact recipe. So we're going to add that in, and that would be my breakfast. So you can see it's 352 calories. It is 39 carbs total, 6 grams of fat, 36 protein. So that is, like I said, 39 grams of carbs is going to scare a lot of people. If we go all the way down to the bottom, which is what I do next, and I look at my nutrition, and I look at my macros chart, and I see where I'm at. So I'm like, yeah, 44% carbs. I'm a little high on the carbs right now, but I know that I can balance out my day as we go. 40% protein, I am on point for my protein, but I am allowed a little more fat. Woo, that never happens. So I consider that a massive success. So then we're going to X out of there. And we're going to go to the next meal that we know that we're having for sure. I usually try to plan my breakfast, lunch, and dinner first, and then I use my snacks to fill in the blanks and balance my macros. I find that the most beneficial. So next, I'm going to put in my lunch. We actually do have leftovers for lunch today, so we would be eating, I know for certain, that I am having my, sorry, I have to find it here because it's further down, beef and lentil stew. And I can only eat about 3/4 of a serving of that, so that's going to be fairly accurate for me. So I'm going to add that in for my lunch. So my lunch is going to be 175 calories, 12 carbs, 5 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein. Where am I going? Looking at the macros, seeing what that did. So it balanced it a little bit. It brought my carbs from 44% down to 38. Protein is at 42, and fat has come up a tiny bit to 20%. So still fairly good balance. Then I'm going to look at dinner. So what are we having for dinner tonight? I actually have not decided yet, but let's pretend that I have. So if for dinner, if I know, let's say we're going to have chicken breast. So I would put in my 3 ounces of chicken breast. So you can change that by going 1 ounce and doing 3 servings of it. And that's going to be 3 ounces of chicken breast. And then if it has your common sides here, things that you often have for sides, you can add those in if you choose to at this point. So broccoli is probably what we will do. Steamed broccoli and chicken breast. There we go. So it's a pretty low calorie meal. That's only 1/4 of a cup of broccoli. I can often do more like 1/3 of a cup now, which is like 4 spears of broccoli. So that would be my dinner, would be my 3 ounces of chicken breast and my 1/3 of a cup of broccoli. So then let's go look at my nutrition. So now my carbs have come down again to only 33%. I'm at 19% for my fats, but I'm at 48% for my protein. So my protein's a little bit high at this point. So that means I know for my snacks, I probably, and we'll see how it goes, but I probably don't need to have a protein shake today, which is awesome because I don't love protein shakes. So then I go to my morning snack, and I've been on a binge lately eating protein bars because we've been on the go a lot with the holidays. So I'm going to say that we're going to be out shopping in the morning, so I'm going to have a protein bar, and I'm going to have one of those delicious Kirkland ones because if you haven't had those, they're really, really good. So I know I have room in my carbs. It's going to bring my protein down a bit, and it has fat in it. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to go look at my nutrition. And we brought my protein from 48 to 44, so it's bringing it down a tiny bit. My carbs are on point. I still have room in my fat, which makes me happy. So then I'm going to go to my afternoon snack. And whenever I have room in my fat macro, my go-to is either cheese or peanut butter. Those are the two things that I'm like, yep, if I have room, I'm totally eating it. So today I'm going to say that I'm going to have a little bit of, oh, do I even have those in there? I don't think I have cheese in here. So I'm going to have a little bit of cheese. I actually know that I have Gouda in my fridge. So I'm going to have 1 ounce of Gouda cheese. And then I'm probably going to have it with some raspberries. Half a cup of raspberries. Just because I enjoy that snack together. So then I'm going to go look at my nutrition. And I'm almost perfect for the day. So then I have 33% carbs, 25% fat, 42% protein, and I have 1 snack left to go. When my macros are almost perfect, my go-to snack is my Greek yogurt with protein, the dark chocolate chips or Krista chocolate chips, whichever ones, and the all-bran buds. That tends to be a pretty well-balanced snack, so that tends to be my go-to. So I have my 1/3 of a cup of yogurt, and it knows exactly what I serve it with. This one I've actually been using a different protein in it, so that's just why that one it comes up there, because we have that protein and I don't love drinking it. So that would be the snack that I'd put in there. I would then look at my macros, and anything within 3% of your goal is considered perfection. So I know that I have a perfectly balanced day. My calorie goal personally is 1,100 to 1,300. So I'm at 1,242. I am exactly where I want to be for my calories. I just haven't changed my actual, well, my goal is 1,100 to 1,300. So I put my goal as 12. So that is my perfect day of planning and how I make it work when I start with a high carb breakfast. So you saw in the beginning of the day, it looked like my carbs were crazy, but as I went through my day at balanced, this is all amazingly delicious food. I am not going to feel restricted all day long. I'm just going to be in love with everything that I'm eating. So that is my perfect day and how I plan it. And this is seriously what I do every single day. And what did that take me? Like 3-4 minutes to do. Eventually, so it used to take me a lot longer when I would do it because I didn't know the foods to plug in. I'm making you guys a chart that will be helpful of fat sources, carb sources, protein sources, and some crossovers that have both. And that will be helpful. But anytime if you're feeling a little bit stuck, just post on the group and somebody else might be able to jump in and help you, or I can. We're going to go and do another day though, and we're going to do a day that starts with higher fat, because that can definitely be one that's harder to balance. So this one we're going to put in an egg. So we're going to do 1 egg, and then I'm going to add in, I'm actually going to do a breakfast sausage is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do an egg, and then I'm going to type in breakfast sausage. And I don't want a sandwich, I just want a link. So there we go. This is 3 links. I only actually want 1 link because I'm a bariatric patient. So I look at this already and I know my fat macro is going to be really high. So I look at the blue line up here for breakfast. I'm 131 calories. Calories aren't too bad. They're actually a little low for me. 1 gram of carbs, 9 grams of fat though, and only 10 grams of protein. So this is a fat heavy meal, especially because each gram of fat has 9 calories and each gram of protein and carbs is only 4 calories. So when I go to my macros, I know my fat macro is going to scare me. 67% fat macro. This is like keto macros. This is like a ketogenic diet, which is not what I do. So I want to make sure that I adjust this. So when you start your day with this, and this is the first thing you see, you're going to throw your hands in the air and be like, oh my goodness, there's no way I can adjust this. I'm going to prove you wrong. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to lunch. I am still going to eat that same lentil chili because that is still in my fridge. Just because I messed up and had a super fatty breakfast doesn't mean that I don't have leftovers. So I'm still adding that lentil chili in for my lunch. I'm then going to go down to my nutrition. Ooh, look at that. I did bring my fat down from 67 to 44. Proteins at 39. Carbs are at 17. So I know at this point I have a lot of carbs and I want very little fat. So what I'm going to do here for dinner is I'm still going to have chicken breast for dinner because it's quite lean. But instead of doing broccoli, I'm going to do sweet potato because I have a lot of room in my carbs. So I'm going to add that in. And I only said 1 ounce of sweet potato, and I can actually eat 2 ounces of sweet potato. So that's what I'm going to change. So then my dinner is plugged in. I'm going to go look, and I've brought my fat down again from like 44 we were last time to 33 now. So we're coming down. So then I'm going to go to my snacks. And this is where I'm going to add, the first thing that I'm going to do is I know that Greek yogurt snack that I love. If I take the chocolate out of it, because it's the only thing that really has fat in it, it's a really low fat snack. And it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to do it with the all bran buds and the protein and the yogurt, but without the chocolate chips. But I am going to add in a few raspberries to it. Not quite half a cup. I'm just going to do 1/4 of a cup. So that's what I'm going to add in for my evening snack. You could eat it any time of the day. It doesn't matter. I just like eating the snack at night. So it's 1/3 of a cup of yogurt, 1/3 of a cup of bran buds, a scoop of protein, and 1/4 cup of raspberries. And then I'm going to look at my nutrition. Look at that. My fat macro went from 67 to 24. So you can totally bring back your fat macro. You guys can see how excited I get about macros, right? So then we still have two snacks left. Again, I've been lazy. I'm going shopping. I want my protein bar. I'm going to add that into my morning snack. My macros are still looking amazing, all within 3%. I have 1 snack left to do, and I'm going to do some cottage cheese, and I'm going to add some berries with it. Now, my day is going to be a little low calorie. We're going to do 1/2 cup of strawberries. There we go. Let's see where this puts my macros at. Yeah, so you know what? I'd like to add some more carbs in. So I'm going to do a little bit of changing here. So this is kind of where I get to the point where I'm like, you know what? My protein's a little high. My carbs aren't quite high enough. So I'm just going to go see if there's anywhere that I can add a few more carbs to my day. And my calories for the day are only at 981. And like I said, I tend to like to be closer to that 1200 level. So I know that I'm a little bit low. So I'm going to see if maybe if I added a piece of toast, a piece of my Ezekiel bread into my breakfast, if that would help out. So that brings my calories up to almost 1100, which is where I like to see them. And it brings my macros just a little closer to perfect. We're within 3% of everything again. And look at that fat macro is actually low now, where initially we started and it was out of control, and now it's actually below where it needs to be. So 1091, I'm going to say that's a pretty successful day. I could maybe add a little bit of something into dinner, but I don't think I need to if I wanted to, because sometimes, again, this is just a guesstimate. Maybe, you know, I put 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, maybe I have a tiny bit more, or maybe I say 1/2 cup of strawberries and I end up having 1 extra or something like that. So that's kind of where the day balance is. The breakfast is the only thing that I'm not 100% sure if I could eat all that food. But if I don't, it would just, you know, you change your serving size on the bread. So I didn't eat the whole slice. I only ended up eating, say, 3/4 of the slice or 2/3 of the slice or something like that. So that's where you'd make some adjustments if needed. And then again, you're going to look at your nutrition, and then again, you're pretty much perfect. So that is how I plan a day. That is how I don't let that crazy fat macro, when it looks out of control, when you plug in your breakfast, you just need to balance the rest of your day and have the rest of your day low fat. And I'm going to, again, make this document for you guys that I'll post very shortly in the Recipes for Weight Loss Success group, in the photo albums, and I believe there's like a nutrition documents album, and I will post it in there by December 31st. It will be there for you, and it will kind of have some ideas on different things that you can use for carbs, different things you can put for protein, things that have carbs and protein but little fat, that kind of stuff. So it'll be a bit of a document that will help you to balance things out just a little bit more. And if you are going through your day and you're having a hard time and your fats are really high, feel free to reach out and ask for help. And either myself or other people in the group can definitely provide you with a little assistance in that. So that is balancing your macros and meal planning in MyFitnessPal. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Bye.